Hi guys, my name is Mackenzie Wall, and I am a third-year medical student at Morehouse School of Medicine, and I'm currently on my surgery rotation here in Seattle, Washington at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. But originally, I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm always asked, like, what is your why? Why medicine? My mom is actually my why. My mom immigrated from the Philippines when she was only 18 years old. She came with her 3 brothers. She didn't speak a lick of English, and needless to say, like, she had a very hard childhood. She was someone who really believed in the American dream, that if you worked hard enough and you really applied yourself, you could make anything happen. So that's sort of the mindset that I grew up around. Whatever you choose to do with your life, you only have one life. What you do should be meaningful. And, ideally, since we are Catholic, what you do should also be in service to others. If you are able to combine those things, that's a beautiful thing to accomplish. And so I continued through my undergraduate and eventually made it to Morehouse, not for medical school, but actually in their Master of Science in Medical Sciences program. I was in their inaugural accelerated track, and then I was lucky enough to be accepted to do medical school with them. One of the reasons I love Morehouse School of Medicine and decided to stay for medical school after my master's was because of this idea of a village, that we are a family. It's very family oriented. The only person you need to be in competition with is yourself yesterday, and everybody can achieve excellence. So when I was in Chattanooga, and I got to work with Dr. Hubbard and Shaw at their pediatric clinic, I was just really amazed at the difference of demographic of patients that came in were not necessarily the ones that I grew up seeing firsthand. Part of the mission of Morehouse School of Medicine is diversity, equity, inclusion, representation. I thought I truly understood what that meant, but to see that superimposed on the community where I grew up in was really humbling, like I said, very eye-opening. And actually, funny enough, one of the patients who came in recognized me. She was 2 years ahead of me at CSAS, Chattanooga School for the Arts and Sciences. And she was like, I know you. You went to CSAS and now you're a doctor. I was like, oh no, I'm just a medical student. But like, seeing the way her demeanor changed, just knowing that I was someone who has come where she has come, the rest of our interaction with her and her daughter was like night and day. And that representation means more than just a picture on a wall, because it can inspire so many futures. Specifically being here in Seattle, I've gotten to work a lot with the breast clinic. So these are patients who have either breast cancer or like potentially they have some abnormality and they're coming in and starting that journey, which may or may not turn out to be cancer. It was a woman. It was one of my very first weeks, and I got to scrub in on her double mastectomy. And surprisingly, she was in very good spirits because she was getting it done prophylactically. She was in even as good of spirits as she was before going into the operation. She was just like, Dr. Wechter did such a good job. She got it all, nice and tight, everything. And the relief that I feel knowing that I don't have to worry about, getting breast cancer. It wasn't until we got to talk to her that we got to realize that's not how she felt at all, that she was very happy with the results, that the relief that she was feeling since the moment she woke up from her surgery was something we were able to give to her. And I know that's not going to be every case, but even for the small few that I'm going to be able to give that to, that's why medicine. One thing that I definitely think was an experience that I got here that I necessarily would not have gotten back home in Atlanta and at those places I would have rotated at is I just feel like I've had an unbelievable amount of hands-on experience. From day one, I thought it was just my orientation. I wasn't even in scrubs. I was in business casual, and they said, oh, we have a lap cold. You want to scrub in? I was like, heck yeah, I do. So they got me the scrubs and I was in there, but I just felt like that really set the tone, and it did not waver through the entire 4 weeks that I was here. I felt like a valued part of the team. I basically felt like I was a sub-I or an intern. I feel like the teams were a lot smaller, so I got to know the intern, the other residents, my attendings in a much more close relationship. I felt like they got to know me better. But it also just made for a more enjoyable experience since I'm very interested in surgery. Why do I think it's important? Not just for being able to provide more healthcare providers to these regions who might be lacking, but it's going to be providing quality healthcare providers, ones that are culturally competent and prepared to serve these communities that need it most. So to any students who are really thinking about where should I go for medical school, I think Morehouse School of Medicine should be strongly considered because of the More in Common Alliance, and specifically because they're becoming worldwide. Most schools, I feel like, don't have regional campuses, and even if they do have regional campuses, they might just be within their state. I can say firsthand that the communities that I have seen at these regional campuses are very different from one, the one that I grew up in, and two, the one that I've spent several years now in my master's in medical school in. And I think those give me a better perspective and worldview of the different lives that people may be living. I think it makes me more in touch with the world as a whole and different parts of the country. And then when I go back to the communities I serve, I take those experiences with me, but also with this lens in which I see my patients, in which I see the world, in which I see maybe the paths that they have come from that have brought them into the office before me. And so hopefully other students will see the value in that and will realize that it will make them a much more excellent physician and healthcare provider. And so that is what a village and what a family means to me. And so as a MiCA ambassador, I really hope to continuing to foster this environment.